Yeah, he's just terrified. I think I was taken off guard with this when I first saw it in my reaction trailer. Yeah, dang, the air shoes. Okay, interesting enough, Shadow didn't even showcase his air shoes before this moment. And he's just flying up. Dude, a Sonic that is way more formidable and can fly? Automatically the best character in the entire game. But yeah, this is crazy. The fact that he's this high up. And when I saw this scene right here, I was just like, I don't think anybody can realistically survive this. Even Sonic. That's your back hitting the streets, the concrete. And then obviously we have this scene right here.
Or previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
That is just an amazing moment when, and I was always thinking, when Knuckles like literally says this, hold on, let me go back.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
When Knuckles says that, you think he's talking about Sonic. I want to do a little fan theory. What if he's not talking about Sonic? Hello everybody, Mr. Boberjack here today at the Tree Hobby Studio, and I am going to be doing a breakdown analysis in my own way of the Sonic 3 trailer. This is a video that does not fit in my certain criteria of videos that I like to make. I usually like to make videos that will probably stand the test of time and, you know, be viewed after the fact. Who knows, maybe this could be. But it's definitely a thing where I'm fulfilling my innermost nerd. I'm still working on other videos that are, you know, more important to my channel and stuff. But I thought that this would be a nice video because I've done this in the past and people really like it when I just go into and break apart, piece together everything about a trailer or whatever. So right here, right now, we have the thumbnail itself, Shadow, and he's surrounded by a whole bunch of red. This recording thing, it keeps dimming out. I'm gonna let it turn off if it turns off. It's basically the screen. There's a whole system going on here that you guys can't see. But you have Shadow here, you can see his shoes. Like, this is just the most intricate style. It's almost as if he has no laces to keep them together or something like that. That's what it looks like. And then the ring around his, what do you call it? His shoes, that's his inhibitor rings. Those are the things that are supposed to keep his power on lockdown, at least to the degree so he doesn't burn himself out. Yeah, we all know what burnout is. But it's just interesting. I think people have talked about this before, but oh man, his eyes are just illuminating, and that's amazing. It's an orangey color. He doesn't have red like Knuckles. It's actually orange. That's amazing. And his little fluff of hair, it's slightly different, but not really compared to every bit of fur he has. Of course, Shadow's dripping wet right now, and stuff. I was gonna make a dirty joke about it, but maybe I shouldn't. But this is just crazy. These are his air shoes. I know. I'm just gonna be piecing together, but I'm obsessing over this. This is great. This is amazing stuff. You have the gun soldiers right here. The gun soldiers, they don't have actual like machine guns. These are like laser pointers or whatever. Like, they're not actually like military guns. And this was the biggest thing about the second movie, is that we were all kind of wondering, like, this organization called Gun doesn't actually use real guns. They just use like these laser pointers. Okay, yeah, I've been going around this. Here's Sonic, Tails. This is one scene before he says, let's go towards the giant fireball kind of scene. It's a weird thing. I thought it was weird before that Sonic's, the skin tone part of his fur was even fur at all. Like, usually within the video games you can't tell because he's kind of like an otter or whatever. At least in the video games, when it comes to his fur, it's very clean and stuff like that. It's not very fluffy. In the movies it's fluffy, but it's, you know, it's just more confirmation that this is hair. They're furry little animals, you know. It's kind of crazy. Tails' head, it's not that small. This is probably supposed to actually have someone, maybe they made it specifically for Tails. I mean, now these guys, oh, I did not know that. They are going through what seems to be one of Sonic's rings. This is interesting. Like, this is stuff that I've never ever heard anybody else talk about. They're going through one of Sonic's rings, and it's big enough so that the freaking helicopter can get through. That's insane. This whole helicopter scene in itself, I felt like was a reference to Sonic Adventure 2. Getting past all this, I know, we'll get to it when we get to it. Them jumping out of this airplane right here, there is somebody there to take over. Not sure if that's Tom himself, but there is, like, there is this homage to Sonic Adventure 2 Battle where Sonic jumps out of the plane and it's all like, no food or movies, I'm out of here. And then he just jumps right out. So it seems like they're doing the same. Knuckles can glide, Tails can fly. Sonic, you're kind of, let's see if those Night of the Wind powers can actually work for you here, because I don't think he has a means of actually, unless there's like a Soul City escape scene before this. Okay, so we have Knuckles landing, and we have Tails flying down, because goddamn, that's superhero landing is harder on your knees, Knuckles. But Sonic is just landing like that too. These guys have such amazing feats of strength. And here you can see that Knuckles is looking a separate direction than what Tails is looking at and Sonic is looking at. They're all looking completely different directions. Shows that Shadow isn't done this whole walking thing yet. And this is interesting. This has to be like a gun robot that he's dismantled or something like that. He's caused some damage. You can see smoke in the background as we look at this. This is obviously Tokyo because Sonic is a Japanese property. I've done my research. Sega actually did start off apparently in Hawaii. This is pointless research that I've done for a different Sonic video that I want to do in the future. But it did start to accumulate into Japan, and they actually started off, this is useless information, they started off making pachinko machines and other stuff for war veterans, and more useless information. Let's just get into this. It's in Tokyo. You can see the Japanese in the background, and if we want to, yeah, that's future projects, leave that alone. But let me get closer here. You can see that there's a lot of Japanese text in the background. And also, let me just make sure, okay, we're still recording. I'm not sure what that is. Not sure at all what that is. In fact, this isn't the original. Let's try to get it back to where it was before. Boom. Probably isn't, but there's a lot of cool things going on here. So we have Knuckles. Knuckles' design, again, just looks amazing. Let me check if the recording is still going. Okay, good. Knuckles' design looks amazing. He's just got straight-up boxing gloves. He's got workman boots. For warehouse wear, and then Sonic's got the cool kicks with the, it's just sneakers. And then Tails has the most normal ass looking Vans, not Vans, or Adidas kind of shoes. It's just the interesting dichotomy between them. And then you have Shadow with these freaking gargantuan, I don't know, Cybertronic. They're air shoes, obviously, because that's what he just has, but it's just interesting to see the difference between these characters, how far they go with it. And then obviously we have this scene right here.
Or previously.
Dude, I'm standing right here.
That is just an amazing moment and I was always thinking, when Knuckles literally says this, hold on, let me go back.
He is much more impressive than the hedgehog I fought previously.
When Knuckles says that, you think he's talking about Sonic. I want to do a little fan theory. What if he's not talking about Sonic? What if Knuckles knows that Sonic is right there, of course, and he's legitimately talking about Silver the Hedgehog? Yeah, that would be dumb. That's a dumb idea. God for me thinking about that, but it's an interesting thought. What if, with the whole scene with Gerald Robotnik, yeah, let's get to him here, it's how on earth could this actually be Gerald Robotnik? What if it is just Jim Carrey from the future, basically trying to make sure that his plans for world domination are secure, and he actually had the help of Silver, convincing probably Silver that Sonic is the enemy. And there's just so much to that. Also too, it's called freaking Sonic 3. There's a possibility that they're talking about 3 hedgehogs. I mean, hell, look at the title, the hedgehog is silver. That's technically white, but okay, I'm probably reaching a bit here. I'm just nerding out, as I normally do. But that's just an idea that I have about that whole thing. And you can see a little bit of light in there. Okay, I'm just gonna stop. But let's now break apart this trailer, at least in order, to the best of our ability. So we have Sonic running as he normally does. And this little corkscrew thing right here that he does is totally symbolizing. In Green Hill Zone, when he does that little thing with the spiral loop-de-loop, I'm just calling it that. That's what that seems like to me. So they're trying to sneak in as much reference to that, even then anything, as possible. Knuckles' design looks amazing. Tails' design looks amazing. And this definitely looks like they're all ready to race in that one scene. And here you have Tails is flying. I'm pretty sure that is not New York. That has to be, there's something to that. It could be somewhere in England. I don't know. I don't know my things. I don't know my worlds that well. There's the clock tower. And so you have Knuckles here. He's jumping off of it, causing real damage. Like, there should be some consequence to that, right? And he's got the fire things, and he's gliding. That's amazing in itself. There's Sonic running like he always does. And this has to be like a race around the world or something, just to show you how powerful these characters actually are. Okay, so Sonic is definitely in the same place where Tails was in this shot right here. So this could be London. This possibly could be London. If I'm wrong, tell me in the comments below. But these are the same places, so they're definitely running in the same place right here. And then you see in Sonic's cave, this is Sonic's cave because there's a bunch of other stuff on the side, but it's Sonic and Longclaw. Longclaw, who knows, maybe she is alive, we have no idea. Tom is actually, for once, okay, not to make this sound weird, but there's just certain times when Sonic does not touch Sonic because he's technically not there. It's, you know, an animal and stuff like that. Or no, it's CGI. So, you know, it's like the Roger Rabbit thing where the human character, you know, grabs Roger by the neck and then Roger is like, you know, reacting to all the touches and stuff like that. So it's just interesting. And then you hear Sonic saying, oh yeah, my lungs. It's crazy. The under part of his eye where it's like skin or whatever. And I don't know. It's just little details that I'm paying too much close attention to. And then he's like, no, I'm talking about your heart, you dumb butt. But either way, we have Sonic here actually doing, what is it called? You know, he's grinding. You can see Knuckles in the background too, right there, slightly. And I guess this is the part where they just start racing. Sonic does a little tricky, symbolizing possibly when he goes through one of those rings and he does a little trick, or you want to call it the Sonic colors, cool, great, awesome, outstanding, amazing kind of deal. And so here you have finally the gun soldiers, and you have Shadow. He's cryogenically frozen, and his little thing, okay, not frozen, but he's definitely unconscious at that moment. And here is the interesting part. As the gun soldier guy is explaining this, there's a huge possibility that this is definitely the Chow Garden event that's going on. And I'm not sure. The Chows are not going to be something that's actually real, apparently. They're going to be sort of like this cute little anime thing that's a promotion for something. You never know. It could be a promotion for Coca-Cola for all we know. But otherwise, you have somebody in some kind of uniform in the background there. So that's always an interesting thing. And it seems like this scene is heavily connecting. We're just going to go to the future right here. A little bit. Hold on. It's got to be somewhere here, right? Just to reconnect it, if we can. I've probably gone in. I cannot find it for the life of me here. Hold on. It's the scene where Sonic has to save, you know, the gun commander, not Tom, but that guy that we just saw. It has to be somewhere here. And I can't find it. Hold up. Because I don't want this to become boring. And I don't want... man. Okay, when we find it, we find it. And then I can reconnect it as I normally do. And, yeah, so either way. So we're going from this scene, that scene. So Shadow wakes up, and he punches the glass. This scene right here, this is one of those aesthetic scenes, and it's really nice to look at. It's pretty cool. Like, Shadow's like, fuck your glass. Like, you're not gonna mess up my hand. Dang, that is just incredible. The water just coming out. That's crazy. They're just, most likely they're being told that Shadow is going to wake up at this exact moment, be ready, and this is when they learn of Shadow actually being a threat, bigger than what Gun can actually, you know, handle themselves. So going through all this scene, we've seen that. This is interesting right here. What if there is a possibility that this is where Sonic is starting to figure out everything that's going on? At least he's going where? Maybe, I want to say Gerald Robotnik, but maybe some other laboratory. Hold on, let's take a closer look. There's plates, there's stuff. This seems like something for a party. There's toys in the background. This has to be possibly a thing for Maria. And you could even see Eggman. That has to be Eggman. That's a little bit of red. What is dangling right there? Not sure. But this definitely has to be Eggman. And they're possibly, most likely, trying to uncover what Shadow's past was all about. This has to be a birthday thing for Maria. It has to. This scene plays exactly right before this scene right here with Maria and Shadow. And this is actually pretty weird and interesting at the same time. So Shadow is just straight up in this liquid, assuming that he can breathe in there. So the tufts of hair are definitely more pronounced than the rest of his body. And then his quills are just definitely more spikier. Geez, when this thing comes out, it's probably gonna spike you, Maria. And Maria is just a blonde girl. She doesn't have a full-on dress like in traditional old times, but she's definitely, there's something striped right there. I hope she's not some kind of prisoner, but there's a lot of electronics going on. Shadow's mouth looks kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. So here you have less exposition. Here's Tails, here's Knuckles digging his hands into the ground. Jesus Christ. So that's pretty cool. This is a really nice shot right here. This, I think everybody was like obsessing over this when they saw this. Like this was something that people were really obsessing over and they were really going crazy over because of the high detail and all that kind of stuff. So far we're 16 minutes in with recording. But then you see, oh my god, seriously, if this was real, if this was in real life, their skin would have blasted right off of their bodies. Jeez, look how ginormous Knuckles is. Sonic is kind of moderately huge, and in Tails, he's little, but his tails are definitely huge as well. And so they're just like, okay, let's test your strengths and stuff. Like, maybe it's like a thing where it's like, I don't know, maybe Tom is all like, okay, Sonic, if you want to like go and like rescue people with me and become a, you know, a government agent along with me. Yeah, apparently Sonic is a government stooge. He's not as rebellious as we'd like him to be, but he's probably just all like, show me what you got, race around the world, and we'll see what happens. And Sonic probably is like, okay, all three of us can be, you know, government agents if we go around the world and stuff. We'll see who wins. And then we have this broken screen right here. Not sure what this is all about, but this has to be, who knows? Maybe it's Shadow that's showing them in this scene right here. Let me get to it. Maybe it's Shadow showing them all this stuff, and he's like reflecting on this little mirror thing, but it's already broken because he's already broken out of it, which I'm thinking is the possibility. And I'm trying to remember where we were. Yeah, we're right here. So that's what I'm thinking, because I'm really trying to connect everything. But you do have perhaps Gerald Robotnik right here, and we can possibly maybe make out that that's probably Maria, and she's probably deceased at this moment. And we have all the soldiers. Those are probably the gun soldiers that are closing in on them because they're like, we need to shut this project down. This is a danger. Like, we need to like put a cap on this. So they're probably headed towards for them. This isn't a thing where they're all trying to make sure everybody's safe. They're probably gonna finish the job as we speak. But we have this here, and let's see, who is that in the background? Who is that? That has to just be a random person. Yeah, it is not Tom, confirmed. It is just a random person. We can see it right here. But Tails' ginormous head. Like, Tails, has anybody ever told you that your head is literally huge? Here you have his tufts of hair are actually sticking out from the sides. That's actually kind of funny. But they can see, they're definitely headed towards Tokyo. They're like, okay, let's go to Tokyo. This is the Tokyo zone. Like, I always said this before, like back in the past, that Sonic's ability to hop from zone to zone is definitely in line with whenever he uses his rings to just pop, like portal jump anywhere. Fast travel, if you will. Faster than at least he can run, and we know that for a fact. I like the shot of Sonic. He's just determined. And so they all land here, and then Keanu Reeves says his amazing lines right after Sonic gets dissed by Knuckles, his own teammate. This is just a funny scene right here. But yeah, he's just like, you guys are a colorful bunch. This is an amazing line. I think a lot of people gushed over this line. Yosh? Why the freak does it say that? Yeah, don't worry about it. It's nothing. I just like seeing all the buildings in the back. But yeah, definitely taking on a more city escape kind of thing. It's all city. It's all city in this movie. A lot of the first movie and the second movie was more based in countryside of God knows where else, nowhere. But here it's a lot of city, as we can see. Trying to see other things. Oh yeah, so Shadow saying that they're a colorful bunch is actually pretty funny. This is a big indicator that Shadow is very used to the hard life. He's very used to gruff and tough. He's very used to reality. And our band of heroes are, let's face it, very kid-like, very kiddish, and definitely for the kid eye, because they're like pieces of, like, I guess you can say candy or the hot latest toys. They have just very pronounced primary colors. Tails is yellow, or orange if you will, Sonic is blue, and he's got a little bit of red as far as shoes. And red shoes, when have you ever worn red shoes? Like any of the viewers that are watching right now. And you have Knuckles, who's just straight up red. So Shadow is saying that they are a colorful bunch. He knows what color is, he's not colorblind, and he knows for a fact that he is who he is. At least he knows what he looks like, because there was always this disconnect between Shadow and his own personal self. But either way, we can see that the red around his eyes, sorry for the beep, it's just my iWatch. The things around his eyes, those are just eyebrows. But it's so weird, like, even with my art, I always depicted those red parts, at least those, I just thought they were just eyeshadow, but I guess not. Kind of would have been funny. But either way, we have Tails right here on the side of Sonic. On a different side, actually. He was originally on Sonic's left side, but now he's on Sonic's right side. So they kind of switched positions a bit. And this part where Knuckles says, he says Sonic. He calls Sonic Sonic. It's been a while since he actually has probably called Sonic Sonic. Give me a reminder in the comments below, but a lot of the times he would just call people what they were. So, along with Sonic, he would call Pretzel Lady, he would call, anybody, but I think after building a lot of trust and respect with Sonic, he's come around and called him his name. I hope he does the same with Tails. I hope he doesn't just call him the Fox, because later on he'll call Robotnik, instead of like Eggman or whatever, or the Scientist or whatever, that very warrior-like way of calling people names. This seems to be a little different right here. Yeah, so he starts to run, of course, but this seems like it happens in mid-conversation with Shadow. This doesn't seem like it happens immediately after, but you have Tails, you have Sonic. Sonic looks a little different from over here, but here goes Knuckles, and a lot of people were really angry with this because they don't like the fact that Knuckles was dispatched with very fast, but also too, look at Shadow. Look at Shadow. Does this scene remind you of something? Going here. This seems like Shadow is coming to a realization that Knuckles wants to fight. And that's a scene that's just being connected in my mind. Or it could happen maybe before that. Maybe after. It's not very sure. But either way, we get the scene where Shadow now is like, you're a threat, and I'm going to take care of you. And he utilizes Chaos Snap. This is one of the powers I didn't explain in my Shadow video, but I'm explaining it here, so take it for what it is. Yeah, he just literally, and this is what is also concerning. Is he just really, really fast? Like Sonic is? Like Sonic could possibly do the same thing if he wanted to? Or, possibly, does he have a Chaos Emerald? Where did he get a Chaos Emerald? If the emeralds are supposed to be combined to make a Master Emerald, does this mean that he got a hold of the Master Emerald? There's a lot of questions. Can Shadow just do this naturally? Does he not need the emeralds to do any chaos-related things? Or does he have a slight bit of chaos energy and a slight bit of the powers that we associate with him? Have no idea. This doesn't seem like a thing where he's just fast. This is definitely some kind of chaos control deals going on here. Also too, this whole entire bit is definitely inspired from Sonic Adventure 2 when Sonic was looking up at Shadow and Shadow was standing on top of a robot before he had a Chaos Emerald, but this was some kind of symbolism in a sense of showing how unexperienced the characters were compared to this newfound threat who was overly powerful, and you can see that through at least a display of where they're standing in the shot. But either way, we have the scene where Shadow is totally dispensing with Knuckles, and a lot of people were mad about this. Dang, he really grabbed into that fucking fist. But either way, there was definitely a thing where Knuckles just did not expect this, because look at this. Knuckles was definitely gonna punch with his right arm, not expecting Shadow to just instantly transport and take his other arm. This is definitely a boxing glove. So this definitely gives Knuckles a chance, because he just didn't expect this at all. And look, before Knuckles can really show off his power, Shadow dispatches with it. There's possibly a chance that Knuckles is just way more powerful than Shadow, but Shadow's not going to give that a second to even come out. So he disbands with him. And after taking him out, Sonic does this. But I don't think that this is in the same scene. I'm pretty sure that this is probably after Tails gets dispatched with, because it just doesn't line up right. How would Sonic be so eager to fight after that point? He's just like, can we just talk about this? Like, that doesn't happen, before this. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's this that happens, and then he says, it's my turn. But only the film can tell us. Also, too, it's a little weird, but when you notice Sonic's eyelashes and that's kind of strange. He looks like a girl. No reference to Amy being in this. I do not think she's in this. Either way, Tails is flying. He's flying now because he's on alert. But Shadow now is about to fight all of them. Does the cow snap with Tails? That fucking sucks. Oh, poor Tails. His stomach, bro. Ooh, okay. Yes, Tails' poor stomach. Alrighty, so now Shadow... Sonic sees this and is like terrified. Look at this blue blur. Yeah, he's just terrified. I think I was taken off guard with this when I first saw it in my reaction trailer. Yeah, dang, the air shoes. Okay, interesting enough, Shadow didn't even showcase his air shoes before this moment. And he's just flying up. Dude, a Sonic that is way more formidable and can fly? Automatically the best character in the entire game. But yeah, this is crazy. The fact that he's this high up. And when I saw this scene right here, I was just like, I don't think anybody can realistically survive this. Even Sonic. That's your back hitting the streets, the concrete. You can see everything and all the destruction that Shadow has caused. This has to be something else. This can't just be Shadow. There has to be something else that's destroying the city with him. I mean, not that he's not powerful enough. And this is definitely... Oh, yeah, I was gonna say that this is Eggman's egg carrier or something, but this is, of course, the Ark. The Ark is embedded into at least that point that we saw them running around. This has to either be the Ark, or it can be anything, but I'm pretty sure it's the Ark. Nothing to really confirm that as of now. And there's something after Shadow. What are those lights in the background? And not sure. He's running across the water though. Yes, with his air shoes he can do that. This is probably most likely immediately after he gets out of that crime barrier, or what do you call it? That glass barrier. Yeah, he's punching this guy. Let's see. Yeah! Punch that guy in the kisser. Yeah! Dude, it's like Powerpuff Girls with how he's able to do this shit. It's amazing. Dude, he silvered that guy. If that ain't a reference to the time when Shadow kicked Silver, I don't know what is. He lays this guy out. Hold up. Yeah, he does the silver. He does the silver right there. He kicks him. That's crazy. Dude, he shines so freaking bright, and he actually shines a light on the person when he... Dude, that's crazy. Oh, man. I don't even know. This has to either be in the same place, or the fact that there's just a bunch of red on the bottom. I have no idea what that's all about. But he's saying Sonic. I'm not sure. This scene right here, a little bit of lore building, but Shadow's getting ready to punch something. I'm not sure what it is. It could be Sonic. It could be Eggman. I am assuming that right there takes place after this scene. He looks into that. He reflects. And maybe he's just like, okay, now I have to dispense with like the both of you, or something like that. Or maybe there's something of some other character that just shows up and Shadow is triggered and, you know, he's about to punch something, but we have no idea what that is. But this is obviously it's light. This shows that there is no, oh, we're about to get down to business. It seems like a sort of scene that's more building towards the lore of what's happened since he's, you know, broken out of this place. And this does seem like the cryogenic thing that, you know, he broke out of like a long time ago, which is weird to think that it was a long time ago because it did happen fairly recently in this movie, as we can be left to assume right here. In fact, actually, if we think about it, this right here, this little chamber is different from the one that he's reflecting on right here. This one seems more in line with possibly this right here, but I could be wrong. But it's just like, yeah, we think that he's probably broken out twice. That Some Call Me Johnny joke where he had to break out the first time to deal with Mephiles, and then he went right back to his sleeping chamber where he would then be waking up like a little bit later. This is insane. Him coming down on Sonic with the freaking... Yeah, he just takes no prisoners right here. What the fudge? Look at the difference between Sonic's glove and Shadow's glove. Shadow's glove looks way more built for military practice, and Sonic's gloves are more soft. This is interesting dichotomy. I really hope that Sonic, you know, he basically gets a different outfit or different stuff. Like Shadow's like, here, take these. Like, what are these? Like, these are shoes that are gonna, like, you know, protect your feet from like what we're gonna go up against. This, I don't know what this is. This doesn't look like the Ark crashing down on something. This looks like Dark Gaia or some mess. I'm sorry I have to put, like, you know, the whole Iblis thing into this, but that's what it seems like. Who tied them up? Possibly either Eggman or possibly, you know, it's either Eggman or Shadow. One of the two. This, with the police cars right here and their concerned faces, it seems like they're kind of sad about possibly Tom being hurt, which is probably going to be a thing where it shows a dichotomy between Sonic and Shadow and how they deal with, you know, revenge or the loss of a loved one. I'm not thinking that Tom's dead, but there's a possibility that he's hurt. Either way, we have the best stuff here. We have the whole thing with Tails like, no, we can't go to Eggman, but like we need help because Shadow is a threat and he possibly hurt like my friends. Like, what did you do? Like, it had to be done. And here you see Eggman, he's fat and stuff. We're gonna speed all this stuff up because we've been here for a while, and I can't always like extend the video past like this moment like too much. But yeah, you see that Knuckles here is like, you know, Robotnik, you've let yourself go. It's disgusting. And then Sonic is more determined than ever. He's not cracking jokes, he is serious. And this actually lets me know that Sonic, he's experienced probably something close to what Shadow has experienced, and now he wants not revenge, he does want justice, but you can tell that he's definitely on edge a little bit, because here you have Tails, and, you know, he's trying to side with Sonic on this and stuff like that, so he's just going for it. And then you have Eggman, and, you know, everything about him is skinny, but this is so weird. He's like, let me smell that quill. Let me smell that quill for a second. Yeah, give it here. Like, what the fudge, man? Let's see this scene in full action.
Let's do this!
Okay. That was a lot. So, yeah, they're doing a little bit of cutting. Eggman with classic little glasses. Okay. That is hilarious. That's hilarious right there. Occupied. They have a little basketball thing for when he gets bored. What exactly? Either way. Like, it's not big enough. Like, here, found some. No, he's like, find some, you know. Anyways, December, you have Shadow running in this thing. This, I have no idea what this is. Tokyo is turning off. Shows that he's probably once for all like destroyed Tokyo or something. This is definitely a symbolism of Sonic X, when Shadow and Sonic were first seeing each other for the first time, and you have Shadow with the motorcycle. That's amazing. Sonic's rolling into a ball. Shadow's doing that. He's trying to kill him. He's trying to get him, bro. That's crazy. They're running definitely in Tokyo. This has to be Tokyo still. Oh, So, and then we have the Space Colony arc here. Knuckles is down there, but Tails runs out. I'm not sure if this is in space. We can't really canonically say that these characters are capable of breathing in space like in their Sonic X counterparts, but it's an interesting idea. So we have that. And then, okay, so this is the scene right here. So right after that whole dispensing and talking about Shadow, Shadow is therefore there. So it seems like, it's hard to say because they arrived to Tokyo. And right after they arrived to Tokyo, you know, like the Chao Garden is there. Who's shooting them right here? Because they're in Tokyo. Unless it's a thing where it's like after failing against Shadow, they appear here. Or unless there's somebody working with Shadow, it has to be Gerald Robotnik, right? Because who's going to be shooting missiles at them? Not Eggman. Eggman's depressed. So, yeah, just a lot of mystery. This has to be still the scene where he just barely comes out of that thing when he's still like wet and dripping and stuff like that. Here's an Akira reference for all of those that really wanted it. I know a lot of you were like pointing out, like there's going to be a lot of anime references in this. This is probably still Tokyo too. Dude, he is just far up there. And this is an amazing scene. He's just like, I'm ready. The electricity. The electricity. You guys see this, right? It is shining even brighter on the red. That is insane. Of course, they call him an alien. There's possibly some black arm deal going on here. But Sonic's quills glow all over. This is insane. Like the difference between how these guys actually get ready. This is just interesting. And then they're, of course, zooming towards each other in the sky. Shadow's probably going to win that. So there's that. And then if you guys wanted me to say anything about this Gerald Robotnik scene, I think it's just definitely Eggman from the future. And this whole thing right here, where they see all of this, has to be right during the scene with the flashlight and Shadow doing that gearing up for the punch thing. It has to be it. And this has to be a thing where Shadow probably is about to punch Gerald Robotnik. That's what I want to think. But either way, only time can tell.